when civilians are more likely to have guns to protect themselves, you actually see criminals being less likely to carry guns themselves.
John Lott is founder and president of Crime Prevention Research Center. He has published, among other books, More Guns, Less Crime, The Bias Against Guns, Dumbing Down the Courts, How Politics Keeps the Smartest Judges Off the Bench, The War on Guns.
Police are the single most important factor for reducing crime. But the police themselves know that they virtually always arrive on the crime scene after the crimes occurred. And that raises the question about what people should do when they're having to confront a criminal by themselves. And having a gun is by far the safest course of action.
John, I want to talk to you about your article that you published called Biden's Gun-First Approach to Violent Crime Ignores Basic Facts. And one of those basic facts, as you point out, is that 92% of violent crimes in America do not involve firearms.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he goes to New York and gives this big speech on reducing violence. And even if his proposals work, they'd only be dealing with 8% of the violent crime that's out there. I mean, I guess I wish he had kind of a Sister Soldier type coming to Jesus type moment on this thing, where he would have said, look, you have the city council, which has cut $1 billion from the police department. You've had district attorneys in New York City who are refusing to prosecute violent criminals. You've had bail reform there that's letting people out and committing more crimes. I mean, if somebody's facing many years in prison anyway, and they go and commit another crime, what are you going to do? Give them a second life sentence or something that's there? I mean, they have almost no cost for doing that. And you have huge numbers. Over half the inmates have been released from jails there in the New York City area. Is it any difficulty to understand why there's been an increase in violent crime? But Biden didn't address those issues. The only references he made to police and to prosecutors were just solely focused on enforcing gun control laws. And I'll mention one other inconvenient fact, and that is there's so much discussion by Biden about how it's gun crime that's causing the increase in overall violent crime. Well, I mean, violent crime increased in 2000 from 2019, but violent crimes with guns fell by 27%. So, I mean, how can you blame guns for the increase in violent crime when gun crime fell hugely? I mean, I've never seen such a large one-year drop in gun crime. And that's whether you look at crimes report to police, that's the FBI crime data that everybody points to when they talk about the increase in violent crime, or whether you look at the National Crime Victimization Survey, which surveys about 100,000 people each year. Both of those saw a 27% drop in violent gun crimes.
John, crime going up in other categories, but going down regarding gun crimes. Why is that?
Well, there's a lot of research out there. I've done some. There's others that have done this too, that indicates that when civilians are more likely to have guns to protect themselves, you actually see criminals being less likely to carry guns themselves. Part of that may be if, let's say, somebody's going to carjack a car and they pull out a gun, the person inside there may be more likely to pull out a gun and shoot them than they would if they had some other type of weapon that was there. But it's something that researchers have observed in the past, so it's not particularly surprising. But the size of the drop is just shocking in terms of how large it is, and it's something that you just don't see mentioned at all in the media. You know, you see these stories in the media about, well, there was increased gun sales, big increase in gun sales during the pandemic. I mean, you and I know that the increase in gun sales was due to the increase in violent crime, that people saw that police weren't being allowed to do their jobs, that many of these George Soros prosecutors weren't doing their jobs. I mean, you even have cases of murder where district attorneys like Kim Foxx in Chicago was unwilling to prosecute gang members because initially her office said it was mutually agreed to combat that was there, even though there was a murder and multiple serious injuries. And then they want to go and point out that they said, well, the increase in gun sales must be why violent crime went up and gun crime went up. But gun crime didn't go up. Gun crime fell.
John, speaking of media, I want you to react to this excerpt from Joy Reid. She's a talk show host on MSNBC Hee Haw. I watched, so you don't have to.
All these Republicans who are claiming to be just so concerned about the kids. Ron DeSantis was an incoming freshman congressman when Sandy Hook happened. Where was his concern then? And you know what's tragic, Governor Christie Noem? The kids across the country have no idea what it's like to go to school without the prospect of an active shooter showing up. I, for one, am eagerly awaiting all of your legislative proposals, other than thoughts and prayers, that address this urgent threat to our kids, since you care so much about protecting the children. And I know when you folks want to do something, you do it. Take, for example, these other Republicans who want to trigger the libs. You remember these pictures of Representatives Lauren Boebert and Thomas Massie? How does cosplaying with the weapon of choice of school mass murderers in matching outfits protect the children? I mean, do you leave those firearms just laying around the house where the kids can get to them? And maybe, just maybe, if Republicans cared about the kids, they could muster the courage to pass a new assault weapons ban, just like the one that Joe Biden got passed back in 1994. You know, the assault weapons ban that Republicans allowed to expire. Unfortunately, for actual accountability, parents and kids they're on their own when it comes to school shootings.
John, please respond to anything that Ms. Reid just now said.
Right. Well, there's a lot there. I mean, obviously, you and I have talked about these types of issues for 20 some years. The Crime Prevention Research Center recently came out with a report that looked at all times where firearms have been fired at schools from 2000 through the end of 2018. And one of the things that we found is that any of the schools that have teachers or staff being able to go and carry concealed handguns have not seen one attack where anybody's been injured or killed. All the school shootings have occurred at those places where teachers and staff aren't allowed to go and carry. There are 20 states that allow teachers and staff to be able to go and carry guns. You know, in some states like New Hampshire and Utah, any teacher that has a concealed handgun permit is allowed to carry. In other states, you may have to get the school district approval. But in Texas, you have like 45%, similar percentages in Ohio or Oklahoma of school districts have teachers or staff that carry. So it's way across the country. All sorts of schools have this. And yet there's not been one attack that's occurred anywhere near school hours when teachers and staff have been able to go and carry.